Hello, it's been a while. So I've been living in Japan for nearly 5 years now, and there's a lot that I like about living here, and there's a lot that I don't like. So I'm going to talk you through a few of each to hopefully give you a balanced picture of life in Japan. It is going to be quite Tokyo-centric because that's my lived experience, but I hope it should still be insightful. Before we start, I just want to say I've started a new channel called Angara, which is the Japanese word for underground subculture. And on that channel, I do interviews, documentaries, and short showcases of artists from the world of alternative, indie, and underground Japanese music. This is a hidden side of Japan that's undiscovered territory to most people, and I want you to know about it. So please head over and subscribe to Angara. Alright, let's get into it. Let's go bad and then good. Something bad. Whenever I meet people here, and I meet a lot of new people here, I always end up having the same conversation, and it's one that I now just respond to on autopilot. What's your name? Where are you from? How long have you been in Japan? What do you do here? Oh, your Japanese is very good. While I'm very grateful that people want to get to know me, answering always does become a bit of a monologue. This is because Japanese people in general tend not to talk about themselves very much, because doing so can come across as self-centered, or they value privacy, so maybe they don't want to share everything about themselves right away. What this means is, if you're not careful, you can find yourself on the receiving end of a barrage of interview questions, talking only about yourself until you run out of things to say. It takes some real effort to push back and find out things about the person who's talking to you. Also bring up some other topic you could talk about to add some variety to your social life. If you manage that, that's when you can really start becoming friends, learning about your shared interests and forming new bonds. But here's something good. In Tokyo, there are lots of interesting people to meet, and finding them is very easy. The way the city is laid out is that every area has its own character and caters to people with a certain interest or hobby. The famous ones are Akihabara for anime lovers, or Harajuku for fashion, or Shibuya for party culture, but it goes much deeper than that. Jinbocho is for book lovers, Nippori is for people who like sewing and fabrics, Kiyosumi Shirakawa is Tokyo's coffee town, my favourite area of town, Shimokitazawa, is for people who like alternative arts and subculture, and Koenji is very similar but even more punky and grungy. Ogikubo is home to many anime studios, so you find a lot of animators and manga artists there. I could go on, but the point is that when you find the place that caters to what you're into, it's very easy to find people who like the same thing. I meet so many inspiring and talented people here in Tokyo because they're right there. All I have to do is go up and talk to them. Being in that environment changed me, made me more outgoing, and made me more likely to go up and speak to people that I don't know. There's something I don't like. Now, I know I'm going to catch a bit of flack for this, but Japanese food... Wait, don't. Stop. Listen, hear me out. Japanese food goes straight for the umami. That savoury deliciousness that is the signature flavour of Japanese cooking ingredients like soy sauce and miso. It's fantastic, it's pure yumminess, but after a few years of only Japanese food, that straight, safe, delicious flavour does get a bit samey. I remember when I left Japan for the first time in years and I had food with herbs and spices, stuff that's aromatic and you feel in your nose, it's stimulating and exciting. And I was like, wow, I'd forgotten food could be like this. Japanese food is great, but when that's all there is, you might, like me, be left wanting more. But here's what's good. It's cheap and plentiful. Where I'm from in the UK, eating out is a luxury that would quickly bankrupt you if you tried it on a regular basis. But in Japan, where teeny tiny kitchens can make it hard to cook for yourself, it's easy to find something that's affordable and filling, and perhaps even nutritious too. When I first got here, I did cook for myself a lot, but as I started meeting more people, going to more events, and my lifestyle became more and more irregular, I came to depend on those easier options as the fuel to do all those things. Whether it's little hole-in-the-wall options or bentos from the supermarket, that's what's kept me standing all these years, and I'm very grateful to have that option. Something bad. Japan is dominated by its construction industry, and there's always some kind of construction happening somewhere nearby. Whether it's massive redevelopment projects to build new skyscrapers or shopping districts, or just someone in the neighbourhood demolishing and rebuilding their house. It's very noisy, arguably incredibly wasteful with a high environmental cost, and a lot of what gets built arguably doesn't need to be. Unfortunately, usually the first things to get paved over are trees and greenery, making this concrete jungle even greyer than it was. Public spaces are often being watched closely by property developers who want to turn them into more profitable enterprises, and the fact of the matter is that nothing here lasts very long. Everything is going to get demolished and rebuilt soon enough, so it's not worth getting attached to any part of the city. But thanks to buildings being kind of expendable and having such a short shelf life, and the city being so dense, rents in Tokyo are pretty reasonable. When I first got here on my fresh graduate salary, I was able to rent my own apartment just a couple of train stops, even walking distance from the centre of town. The same thing would be unthinkable in London or many of the other world's major cities, where I'm sure I'd still be living in a share house or even with my parents. The independence and freedom of having our own place is invaluable, and I think contributed a lot to my personal growth since I came here. The density also means it's a very walkable city. Streets are narrow and easy to cross, with no street parking and very little ground level space dedicated to car infrastructure such as car parks. This means it's very easy to get everywhere, either on foot or on public transport, and neighbourhoods have the opportunity to develop tight-knit communities without being separated by big highways. Living in a tiny box has its drawbacks, but overall I'm very grateful to be living in such a tightly packed space. Leading on from the urban design topic, here's something that's not fun about Tokyo. It's almost impossible to go and hang out with people for free. Where I'm from in London, there are free events happening all the time. There are free art galleries, there are big parks you can just chill out in, and you can go to each other's houses and just bum about doing nothing. But in Tokyo, you're always going to a cafe, a restaurant, a bar, the shops, and it's very rare to go to people's houses because everyone lives in such small spaces and it's hard to accommodate guests. This makes hanging out feel a bit less casual. It's not something you can do without thinking. You have to schedule it every time. And when you are hanging out, it feels like there's a meter running up as you keep paying for more food or drinks or whatever it is. Even when you're trying to chill out, it can be quite a stressful city. But while there may be few free options for going out, there are a lot of options for going out. The reason I can't tear myself away from Tokyo is there's always something happening, somewhere to go, something to do. It's a real cultural hub with so much art and music and festivals of all sorts, people running exhibitions, people trying new projects that you're invited to. It's endlessly exciting in a way that I'd never experienced before. You can really feel like you're on the cutting edge of something, being in the place where it all happens. It can be tiring keeping up with the rapid pace of change and the advance of culture, but in the future I think one day I'll look back and think, I was there. I was there for that moment, and I was part of it. So that was my list. Thank you for watching. Please do go and subscribe to Angoro, because that's my effort to help you tune into this cultural moment. And subscribe to Bon Yeri Boy, because I will update this channel again at some point. See you next one. Bye.